Hello, everybody. This is Julissa. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching and listening right now in the podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 27, 2026. I'm here to speak about those kids that basically were missing since Thanksgiving, and now they were found at an orphanage in a whole different country. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about that. That's the update came earlier today, so that's what I'm going to talk about. Before I continue, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who has been following me on Spotify. Don't forget to do so. So that way, every time I create a new episode, you are able to get a notification. You can also leave me a comment there. And if you are also following on Apple Podcasts and listening on Apple Podcasts, you can do the same. You can subscribe to the podcast and you will get a notification every time I make a new episode. And of course, thank you so much to everybody who's watching this video right now on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for the support and thank you so much for being here. So when I heard about this story, and I do believe that this is parents, a lot of parents' nightmare. And hear me out because I don't know. I know this is not the first case. Like when two people from two different countries, right? They get married and they have kids. And there's perhaps they might be having issues in the marriage. There's always that fear of that spouse that um she, they will always have a fear. I don't know if you probably hear friends and family talk about this. They will say if something happens, I'm sure he will run off with the kids to a whole different country where um, one spouse might say, I will never have the power to get my kids back or something like this. And when I heard about this case, who reminded me of the Jennifer Dulos case, because that was one of her fears, right? And Jennifer Dulos is the mom that went missing from New Canaan, Connecticut in 2019, and she had married Fotis Doulos, who is from Greece, and one of her fears was that after we're going through a divorce, that he might take the kids away to Greece, and she will never see her kids again. She's not from that country. They got married here, and that was like one of her fears. And I think a lot of families that are like that from different countries, obviously not everybody, right? They tend to fear that when they get into trouble in their marriage, they might think, this person, the other spouse, might run up with my kids far away, right? So that's what I thought about when I first heard about this story. So let me tell you about it in more detail. It says here that a Utah woman who said the end times were near. Okay, so this woman was speaking about the end times. First time I heard about her case, right? A Utah woman who said the end times were near and who is accused of taking her four young children overseas in violation of a custody order has been arrested in Croatia, authorities have said. And her name is Alicia Seymour, 35 years old, was charged in December in Salt Lake County with 4 counts of custodial interference by removing the kids from the state despite not being entitled to custody. Croatia's foreign minister confirmed via an email on Tuesday that she was arrested early this month and was being held on suspicions of violation of children's rights. The kids are being held in foster custody in Croatia, while her ex-husband Kendall Seymour works to bring them home. He has told the press, the dad told the press that um, he is the father of the three oldest children, and he says he has the power of attorney for the child who is not his. And he said it says here that the Salt Lake County District Attorney Sam Hill said his office is exploring options with federal partners to extradite Alicia Seymour, and she was unavailable for comment while in Croatia custody, and Utah court records did not list any attorney who could speak on her behalf here. Alicia Seymour posted videos on TikTok of herself on TikTok last year, describing apocalyptic dreams and urging people to prepare, according to the ex-husband, who identified her in videos viewed by the press. The end times is a Christian view with various interpretations of apocalyptic biblical passages, but many believe it involved a series of events before Jesus returned to the earth. Okay, so this is interesting to even be talking about this because I didn't know the backstory of her. I came here to talk to you guys about, excuse me, just about a mom who took the kids away to a different country, to Croatia, and then the kids were found in an orphanage there, right? But this is what her mental status was when that happened. And you guys can hear me talk about the end times, Jesus is coming soon. I do that a lot. I say that a lot. I also post reels about it too, right? But here's the thing. As a true believer in the Lord, we all know that nobody knows the day or the time when He's coming back, right? So anything we can say, or that I can say, I can only speak for myself, is this: prepare because Jesus is coming back. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop living, right? Because even Jesus and not even the angels know, right? So we see things that are happening in the world, and this is when you have to have discernment. You need to be careful, um, not to let your mind go, too much into that, especially when in the Bible doesn't even say the exact day or time when Jesus is coming back, right? That's why you hear some people say, usually in the fall season, I don't know what it is, to September, October, that people start saying He's coming back October 13 or something like this, right? People say that a lot. He's coming back September 24, something like this. And then people will stock up, right? They buy all these things, or they quit their jobs. That we have seen that happen. They quit their jobs, they move far away, and then, because nobody knows when Jesus is coming back, nothing happens, right? And then they get, really ridiculed, right? And they go through this crazy crazy things, to be even to the point that they might not believe anymore, right? But this is why you have to pray to God. You have to ask for discernment, right? I didn't know that this was the backstory on her, and I'm sure that that must have been so scary for the children to kind of hear this constant language, right? I'm not saying for you not to, when I come here and tell you guys that Jesus is coming back, if we're living in the end times, meaning, you get into a relationship with Jesus Christ, but knowing the sad day and time, nobody knows. That's biblical. Nobody knows when that's going to happen, right? And it says here that one of the children, tip of a son of the hosting family. Well, let me retry a little bit. Give me 1 second. And in one video, she said, so she was a content creator, I guess. First time I heard about her. Um, she was posting videos on TikTok talking about that, right? The end of time. In one video, she said she dreamed of a pulse attack that caused aircraft to crash, computers to stop working, and people to lose access to food, water, and heating. The Lord is trying to tell people that it's going to be a cold winter. You know, um, I do believe also that the enemy can use that, right? The enemy can attack you in that way too. So it says here that she was preparing for all of this, right? Alicia Seymour and her children was last seen in the U.S. in late last November. They were staying with an American family in Croatia who apparently did not know at first that she and her children were being sought, according to her ex-husband. One of the children tipped off a son of the hosting family, leading to her arrest. Oh, so one of the kids was like, was the one who said to the another child at the hosting family, our mom basically has taken us away from our dad. So that's how it came to be. It says here that one of the kids told him, "Hey, search my name on the internet, right? And you will find it." Wow. And the host family either turned her in or convinced her to do so. And the FBI has been getting tips that Alicia Sima and her children, ages 11, 8, 7, and 3, were in Croatia after allegedly leaving their home in Salt Lake City suburb in late November. The former boyfriend told police that Alicia Seymour has recently discussed obtaining passports and leaving the country, expressing concerns about biblical events and the ends of times. According to Utah court documents said the police went to her home in West Jordan on December 2nd after friends and co-workers reported being unable to reach her. Officers found the apartment unlocked with nobody home, along with a notebook listing plans of shred documents, discard phones, and take passports. Police later found, I do apologize about the noise here, guys. Police later found her car parked at a Salt Lake City International Airport and reviewed the video showing the family entering the airport on November 29, boarding a one-way flight to Europe, according to the court documents. Alicia Seymour divorced her father of the youngest child in 2024 and Kendall Seymour in 2021, according to the records. So, wow. Like I said, you guys, this is some serious stuff. And, my view when it comes to like the ends of time, right? When you see things getting like crazy and things like that, I don't know what it is, but I'm like, why would I be going from city to city? Like, if we know this is going to happen. That's just a quick observation that I say. So let me see. So the four kids were actually found in an orphanage. So imagine that, right? You believe on this, you believe so much that Jesus is returning in a specific day, even though the Bible doesn't call for it, right? Doesn't tell you exactly what day. You take your children away, and then you put them in an orphanage in a whole different country. Like they could be giving away, they're now part of the stay over there. They could have been given away for adoption. So let me just, and the kids going through that is just very, they're gonna need a lot of therapy, obviously, and to be separated. Nobody knows if they're all together, right? So let me just see here. The the kids, it says here, the kids are trapped in Croatia in a state-run orphanage. We are in a country trying to get the kids out of custody of the local government over there, right? And he's the father of one of the three kids. They have to hire Croatian lawyers who specialize in child adoption, create and submit applications to hire court-approved translators, and extend our stay by there by some unknown amount of time. And he said he's looking to raise $100,000 because of that. So I'm assuming they do have a GoFundMe campaign, or the dad do. Wow, that is so sad that now they're gonna be traumatized, going through all of this. Suddenly they're no longer allowed to go back to school. Suddenly they're no longer allowed to see their fathers, right? And now they were taken away to a whole different country, right? Put in a host family, and then once they realize, the host family realized that the mom has taken them away, she was put in jail over there, and then the kids were taken to an orphanage. That's a lot of trauma that they went through right there, right? And now one of the fathers, hopefully he's gonna fight for all four of them, or the two dads are gonna get together, right? Because um, they have separate dads. One is the dad of three, and then the other one is the youngest, the dad of the father of the youngest one. So hopefully they'll get together and fight together for them. But now, because they're in Croatia, in part of state custody over there, in an orphanage, they have to get lawyers, translator, a court-approved translator, and go through this whole proceeding to kind of like get them back. Like that's crazy, right? That's crazy. And if anything, the only thing we can do is pray for them. I don't see a GoFundMe link here, guys. If I see one, that's what I'm trying to say. If I found one link for the GoFundMe, I'll probably share it on one of my posts, so you can If you're led to donate, you can donate or you can share the link. We can pray for the kids, right? Hopefully they are being kept together, at least in the same unit or something like that, so that they, that not everything will be so like new and foreign to them over there. I'm sure it's so traumatizing to go through something like this. And, especially for the children, of course, for the fathers that stay here behind, not knowing where they were, right? Just suddenly, I think it was the day after Thanksgiving, suddenly they're gone and they're no longer like, they were no longer like even in the country, right? So let me know, guys, what you think about this. And, we pray for her too, that, that she comes to the realization of what she has done and ask God for forgiveness. So thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Have a good day. God bless everybody.